YouTube. So hopefully done that in one take. So could be back a little bit more. We work with what we've got here. So as you can see, I bought a new to me car. So the people that correctly guessed Daihatsu Fourtrak, you get an SGM banana. So yeah, this is the new to me Daihatsu Fourtrak. I'm going to show you around it and all of its little features, and talk a little bit about why it is I went for a car like this opposed to say another van or something like that. So let's get on with it then, shall we? So we'll turn you around. So yeah, this is the new to me Daihatsu Fourtrak. So anybody that's familiar with these knows that, one, they like to rust, but two, they are pretty bomb-proof in the grand scheme of things. So I've said previous to this that this is one of my favouriteest cars. I've always had a soft spot for them. It's the, well, like I said, I've been looking for one for a while, and I think this is the condition that I want, the age that I want, the features that I wanted. I had, you know, I'm fairly easygoing when it comes to sort of spec, but one of the things I did want was electric windows. So the car itself is a very, I think they're quirky, and they've got good spec, they've got good features. So what I wanted was a good sort of usable space in the back, and I've tried it and I'll show you later on. I can fit what I want in for my sort of mow and go days, if you want. So there's days when I want it for mow and go days. So I've mentioned about the green van in the past, and yes, it is doable. The mower fits obviously that way. It would be ideal if it went the other way, but I think it will if I take the back row of the seats out. But I quite like the idea of keeping them in there for now. But like I said, you get all my stuff for the mow and goes in. In the front, I've got room for the gardener's bucket. Wondering what that is. There's just a little bit of rust. Remember, they like to rust. A little bit of rust there, and I've just sprayed a bit of penetrating fluid to free that up. This is with the seats folded forward, so at some point in time I might take the seats out. I don't know yet. From what I can gather on an insurance point of view, that goes down the route of a modification, but folded forward, that's fine. And like I said, I want to keep this as original as possible. I've got no plans for a mud runner, off-roading car, nothing like that. I want to keep it as original as possible. What I'm thinking is to get the back glass just tinted down a little bit. Same with this side, just to sort of keep prying eyes out, because I will be using it mostly for moving stuff around. But this has been purchased in mind for the business. So when I've got to go and do quotes, I'll be using it for that. Another thing as well, security. So I'm going to be keeping a lockbox on it, because they do like to walk off, or well, any car I suppose likes to walk off. But I want to sort of keep it as sort of, you know, secure as possible. Comes with a spare wheel. Plenty of life left on them. Look at the tread on them. Like I said, it's got a nice little bull bar for nudging things out of the way. Like I said, rust is an issue on you know, and I think when stuff's powder coated, rust likes to get behind it. So I've got a few jobs ahead of me, just knocking all of this off, sanding it and then repainting it. Like I said, rust, you know, just going through it and just giving it a sort of a bit of TLC really. This car has been very well looked after. It's been stored inside of a garage. The bloke that's had it has looked after it. But you can see on the inside, they're just so quirky. They really are. It's got a clock. It's got an inclinometer. It's got battery thingy-my-bobby, ashtray for me to take up smoking. It's got electric mirrors, which I think is pretty quirky. It's got a 4H button. And as well, it's got all of the original servicing paper with it as well. It's got the original brochure that come with the car, the original options. Like I said, it's got a cry button. I do know what all of them for. I'm just trying to put a bit of humour into the video. It's got the 4 high get out of trouble box. But like I said, it really is. It's a quirky car. I have to tuck my leg in to shut the door. But so, a friend of mine many years ago said Land Rovers are great, but you struggle to fit a Barrow in there. So I can confirm a Barrow does fit in. It fits in rather snug. And when I say rather snug, it fits in, but that'll do. So she's got plenty of it go in it, I must admit. She seems to pull well through all the gears. It's definitely a lot more of an agricultural driving experience compared to, say, the green van or the other camper van, which I'm familiar with driving. But then again, all the vehicles that I drive on a basis remind me of driving like a buccaneer pirate ship, in terms of there's things swaying and hitting things and smashing into things and dropping and clattering. So actually it's quite a nice drive. I think it's a 2.8 diesel, and like I said, it's got plenty of torque. I don't think it's got, you know, top end speed, but who needs it in something like this? But pretty much every gear, no matter whether it's a hill, you know, or it's a flat, it seems to pull well through all of them. I did have to have the wheels balanced when I got it. So the chaps that I bought it off, they've got a balancer at their place because they've got a garage. But it's, how they explained it to me was, it's an old style one where it's got the bubble reading, and they don't know whether to put the weights on the inside of the wheel or the outside. I don't know, but I bobbed it down to where I normally go, and it was 24 quid to get them balanced. They went round, torqued all of them up, topped all the tyres up with air. So yeah, I think that's pretty much, you know, to me that seems very reasonable. From what I can gather, everything works on it. So I've been through all the buttons, switched all of them off, checked obviously. I think with any vehicle you need to check that all of the lights work, indicator, everything. I've checked all the locks work on it. They all unlock, they all lock it. But yeah, like I said, driving experience, it drives as it should. It's very planted, as in you don't feel like you're going to fall off the road if you take a corner quickly. You know, it feels almost like it's on rails. I'm not a speed demon when it comes to driving anything like this, admittedly. But yeah, like I said, it is, for me, and this is how I'm going to explain it, it's a car that you need to have your wits about you, in terms of it's got a very big turning radius. The steering's a lot heavier than modern steering. The gearbox has got a much bigger throw, so from first gear back into second gear, you've almost got like a foot of lateral travel. The gearbox is very smooth. It's not like you're feeling like you're stirring gravel. But it is a car that you've got to sort of, you know, compared to the green van, you know, you've got to have both hands on your wheels, especially if you're indicating off a roundabout or a junction, you know, and the indicators are this side on. So you've got to sort of, you know, not have your wits about you, as in like, you know, you're driving some out of control, but, you know, because it needs that little bit more oomph and the turning circles that little bit bigger, you do notice it. But no, like I said, I do enjoy driving it. That's better. So, like I said, it's something I've been after for a good while. You don't see many of them on the road anymore. I think they're going to get that little bit more sort of desirable. You know, don't get me wrong, this isn't an investment piece. This is a purchase for the business. and it's going to take the pressure off my main van. So the green van that you've seen in the past, it's clocking on in age now. I want to take the pressure off that. Also, when I'm going to work or when I'm going to shopping, cinema, anything, I'm taking that thing over there. You know, you're taking thousands of pounds worth of equipment with you. So it'll be nice to have this. Like I said, I'm a bit two mind on what to go for in terms of, you know, upgrades for it. But one of the things I do want to do with it is I want to Guard. Remember, rust. They love to rust. I want to get on my hands and knees, on my back, Guard, all the underneath of it. I think Guard you can spray literally on anything, so I'm just going to go nuts with it. Spray it everywhere, inside of the engine bay, outside of the engine bay, underneath, you know, behind the wheels, literally go ham with this stuff. I'm thinking about taking the headlining off and sound deadening it, and then same with the door cards, take the door cards off and sound deaden it. Take the carpet off, have a look at the state of the underneath of it, if there's any rust, anything needs attention. And then what I'm going to do is, I was thinking about taking the back row of seats out, but I'll be honest with you, I think I'm going to get away with it, if I'm being honest with you, because I don't want to be moving massive amounts of rubbish in this, or, well, any rubbish to be fair. I want this as my, like I said, business car, but I want it where it can sub in for the mow and go days. The plans for it is to be using it for the exterior cleaning. So put the gutter vac in there, put all the stuff in there that I need for it. The gutter vac, the exterior cleaning, is a relatively clean sort of thing, so I'm not really worried too much about dirt or water getting in from that. Just the gutter vac and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, like I said, the plan for it is to sort of use it as to take the pressure off the main vehicle and as use it as alongside the main vehicle. I said about the exterior cleaning, so the plan for this winter is to do as many gutters as possible, he says. And I know from previous seasons, swapping stuff around is a ball ache. So it'd be quite nice to have the gutter stuff living here permanently. That's why I'm thinking about tinting the windows out, just to give that little bit of a privacy. But then at the same time, if people can't see in, they'll break in. If they can see in, they won't break in, because they'll just see, oh, there's a vacuum cleaner there. I don't need a vacuum cleaner. Oh, there's a bag with spinner clean. They might know what it is, they might not. But if they see in and they see, you know, gardening kit, well, they can make their mind up, can't they? But again, like I said, the plan's not for stuff to live in here, permanent. So yeah, I've got the lockbox, so that puts my mind at ease when it comes to security. But yeah, ultimately though, I think I've mentioned this in the podcast, at the end of the day, I've always wanted one. And I think sometimes, you know, just get what you want at the end of the day. Live your life, you know, I keep saying this, you know. So, yeah, that's the plan for it, guys. So you've probably seen what I've been able to put in or not put in, let's just say. But, yeah, see you in a bit, guys. Thank you for watching. And for people who guessed, bonus points, you get an SGM-shaped banana. Peace out.